What's up, fearless ones? Falcone here. What's going on? All right, this is a fun subject. Why wouldn't you want to talk about this subject? Going from part-time to full-time in network marketing. What a great breakthrough. What a great big step forward for somebody to go from being a part-timer to a full-timer. So let's talk a little bit about how one might go about making that happen. So first of all, it's not going to happen unless, if you're going to go full-time, you need to have enough money coming in. This is the thing before I even get into this. You don't go full-time in network marketing when you ain't making no money, okay? Look, let me give you a piece of advice here. And I've seen this happen way too many times. Somebody comes into network marketing, they've never even made a dime in it, and they're like, well, I got 4 months of savings in the bank, and I'm gonna go full-time. I'm like, no, you shouldn't do that. They haven't even proven to themselves yet that they can make a dime in network marketing. And they're like, I'm doing it. Or they got 6 months worth of savings, and they end up just burning through the savings. And every time I've seen it, like, I don't remember even a time where I haven't seen this not happen. So where they run out of runway, and the runway is their savings account. Like, I had a guy that I worked with for a while, and he had got a bunch of money from the sale of a business, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go full time, and he had like maybe, I don't know, year and a half worth of like money that he could live on, and not adjust his lifestyle. And he was in my business, and he's like sitting on his butt doing nothing. And I'm like, dude, you need to get moving. It's like your plane is going really slowly down the runway. You're gonna run out of runway. And then when you run out of runway, because you're like, yeah, I can't wait to be self-employed full-time. I'm like, but he never did the work. And then he got to the end of the runway, and he never even got started. It was nuts with this dude. So, look, you don't go full-time until you are ready to go full-time. And being ready to go full-time is you can support your family on this. And not just for a month, but you got some consistent month-in, month-out reliability in your check before you make that decision. Otherwise, it's just a foolish financial decision. You've got a full-time occupation that's paying for your stuff, your house, your kids, your food, your whatever. And you're going to bail out on that and do network marketing full-time when you've never made a dime in it? I don't think that's a smart move. So I want to get that out of the way really quickly, because too many people do it. Just don't do it. I don't understand. It's so hard to build a business when you're financially just stressed out. I know, because I was there, because I did quit my job. Not 90 days into my first network marketing business, no savings, no bank account, no money whatsoever. I had like literally $0. I was 22. I didn't have any money. But 3 months into my business, I was like, yeah, so I quit my job. And it was stupid. And I worked for like 18 months under complete financial distress, just clawing my way, trying to do everything I could just to eat, and barely pay my rent. And then I ended up having creditors chasing me and debt piling up. And then I was like at the end of my rope, and I had to move home and live in the bunk beds at my mommy's house and cut up my credit cards. And I was young, I was 24 at the time, but it was just like, it wasn't very fun. And I don't regret that decision, but if I did it over again, I probably wouldn't have quit that job, because I was making like $1,000 a week, working 12 hours a week. It was a stupid decision. So don't be foolish in your decision making and think you're going to go full time until you're making money, right? And so the way to go from part time to full time is to treat your business. This is the phrase I often use: part time but fully engaged. Okay, and I've done trainings on this particular subject just in and of itself in the past. Part-time but fully engaged means that you're part-time, that you have part-time hours, but you are engaged in the business at such a level that you know everything that a full-timer would know. You know when your calls are, when your Zooms are, what the schedule is, what the new product announcement, when the conference is, who the top leaders are, what this product is. You know your stuff. You know your stuff as if you were a full-timer, because then if you're acting as if you're a full-timer, eventually you'll be able to, because the habits that you've put forth are going to create the results that's going to get you to that full-time level. So part-time but fully engaged. The other thing is, like, in order for somebody to go from part-time, first of all, you got to be serious part-time. It's got to be, and when I say serious part-time, that doesn't mean, you know, there's a quantity of hours. I think as many hours as you can possibly put in. I think as much time as you can devote to it. I think as much time focused on revenue producing activities and being straight up honest with yourself. You know, because there's tons of people in this profession that kid themselves into believing that they're doing something. They're not. They're just a bench warmer. They're sitting on the sidelines watching other people play. They're not doing anything. And then if they really actually came to the honest conclusion and admitted to themselves, they'd come to, to a reality check. They're like, no, I ain't doing nothing. So look, I ain't doing nothing. Yeah, I'm educated. I did that on purpose. It doesn't matter. So part-time but fully engaged. Serious part-time effort. Look at your schedule. And you honestly, I mean, look, the other part of it is at what time frame do you want to do it? Do you want to do it does it matter to you that you do it in 2 years or that you do it in 5 years? And so the pace at which you work, I think, is going to determine how quickly you get to full-time. But I'm not a big fan of anybody going full-time, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, until they've proven to themselves that they can make money in network marketing, they can do it consistently. So, you're ramping up, you're consistently building the business part-time but fully engaged. You're not a hobbyist. You're focused on the right activities. You're not getting discouraged with because nothing takes you off course. You stay the course no matter what. You have realistic expectations about what you're doing based on the efforts that you're putting forth, and that you come to the understanding and the conclusion that it takes time for volume, for skills, to all these things to accumulate, and you're okay through that whole process of growing a business, right? Starting, nothing, a little bit more, a little bit, maybe a back step, a little bit more, and then we keep growing. Now I'm cool, I'm making this great, consistent part-time effort. How can I continue to improve myself? How can I continue to get better? How can I be more efficient in the way I do things? Is there anything that in my life now that I can sub out or have somebody else do that would free up more time to give me the ability to pour more time into this, now that I've proven to myself that this works? So somebody mowing my lawn, somebody doing this, somebody running errands for me gives me an extra 2, 3, 4 hours a week or whatever it might be. Expanding my opportunity to pour more effort and energy into this business, which enables me to get more done as long as the things that I'm focusing on are the right activities. So continuing to be in a position of personal accountability. You guys know I'm a big fan of accountability, that you're constantly staying real with yourself about your efforts and your energies every single day. And then you're getting to a point, you're like, man, I'm in my full-time job, I've been making $6,000 a month for the last few years. That's my place, let's say, as an example in today's episode. And I get to this point, and all of a sudden, I'm making $5,000 a month in my network marketing business. Is it time to quit? I hit my first $5,000 check. No, it's probably not. I made $5,500. I made $6,000. I made $6,500. I'm at $7,000. I kind of $7,500. I'm at $7,500. I'm at $8,000. I don't know what you got to determine for yourself when it's time, but I would have probably a good 6 months of really consistent earnings that are based on residuals, not just bonuses, before I would go and walk in and say, I'm out of here, boss. And then the funny thing is, sometimes people get to that point and they're like, I actually like what I do. This is pretty cool. I'm making $6,000 a month in my job, and then I'm making $8,000 or $9,000 a month in my network marketing business. And I've had people that were way past what they were earning in their job, in their network marketing business, before they ever even thought, it's time I can't even afford this. I literally cannot afford this job anymore. I got to go. So going from part-time to full-time is a process. It's a journey. I love to see people do it. I love to see people do it the right way, where they're not doing it under total financial stress, because that's no fun. When you're in a position of desperation, people feel it. They can feel that energy, and it's not a good energy, and it's not easy to recruit people when you're in that kind of situation. When you're in a desperate situation, it's very difficult to be proficient at recruiting and building, because you're so worried about how you're going to pay your bills, and that's not fun. So keep the job. By the way, keeping the job allows you to have greater connections. Like, think about it. Like, you quit your job, now you're home all the time. It's like, wow, where's all these cool people I could have been connecting with throughout my days, meeting new people, connecting with people that I had built, that was like a built-in recruiting opportunity for me, for many people, and I blew that opportunity. So I think one thing for sure to remember is the whole idea of being part-time but fully engaged. If you're halfway tuned out and halfway in, you're never going to go full-time. So even if you don't want to go full-time, and not everybody does, but even if you didn't want to go full-time, I think it's important that you're part-time but fully engaged, because that being fully engaged part is going to enable you to get better results in your business. So look, I appreciate you guys so much for plugging into me, whether on YouTube, whether you're on, I don't know, my podcast, maybe you're on toddfalcone.com. The rest of the details on this episode you'll find at toddfalcone.com/episode 42. That's TODDFALCONE.com/episode 42. We'll see you next time. Have an amazing day. Stay fearless, my friends, and thanks for plugging in.